Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you both for being here and for your willingness to serve. I want to follow up on Senator Brown's questions with a little more detail about the budget. And I want to focus in on housing. According to a report earlier this year from the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, there's a shortage of about 7.4 million affordable rental units in this country. Millions of families are now forced to spend more than half their income on housing, on rent. The Department of Housing and Urban Development is responsible for addressing this crisis, but President Trump's budget now calls for cutting HUD's budget by $6 billion. That would be a 13% cut. Ms. Patenaude, if you're confirmed, you would be responsible for overseeing HUD's housing programs. So I want to know where you stand on some of the specific cuts in the president's budget. So let me start with CDBG. The president's budget calls for eliminating all community development block grants, all of them. That's $3 billion that currently helps fund shelter for people with special needs, that helps build nursing homes, that helps create homes for veterans, that helps create shelters for victims of domestic abuse. This proposed cut would hurt some of the most vulnerable people in Massachusetts and all across this country. Do you support eliminating this funding?
Thank you, Senator Warren. The CDBG program has been around for over 40 years, and $150 billion has been dedicated to this program.
So do you support eliminating all funding for the CDBG program?
During the last two administrations, there were significant cuts proposed in the budget for CDBG, and I believe that was due to the lack of targeting for the program.
So I'm still asking the question, do you support eliminating the CDBG program or not? It's a really pretty simple question.
I support the president's proposed budget.
So you support eliminating?
I was not involved in the negotiations.
I didn't ask whether you were involved. You now read it like the rest of us have. I wasn't involved either, but I have a very strong opinion about it. Do you support eliminating all of the community development block grants that are used to support housing?
I certainly would support reforms to CDBG.
Do you support the cuts in the president's budget? This shouldn't be an arm wrestling contest here. It's a yes or a no. You either support what the president is or you don't.
Well, I did state that I support
Okay, you do support all of these cuts then. Okay, we got it. You know, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be hurt by that. Donald Trump's budget also eliminates $948 million in funding for the home investment partnerships. Now, home funding helps states build and rehabilitate housing for low-income families. Organizations in Massachusetts rely heavily on home funding to create more livable, affordable housing units. So, Ms. Patenaude, there's a housing shortage of more than 7 million affordable housing units in this country, and this proposed cut would make that shortage worse. More people will end up on the street. More women, more children, more veterans, more seniors, more people with disabilities. It's that simple. Do you support elimination of this funding?
Senator, the home program has grown the number of recipients, participating jurisdictions over the years, and the grants are getting smaller and smaller and more difficult.
So do you support eliminating funding for this program?
I support the president's proposed budget.
So you support eliminating it. You know, that's going to hurt a lot of people too. More than any other federal agency, HUD is how Americans help friends and families in need. It's not about handouts. It's about helping people find decent, safe places to live so that they can raise their kids, so they can go to school, so they can get a job. The president's HUD budget attacks those who need help. It attacks seniors, it attacks children, it attacks veterans, it attacks people with disabilities, it attacks abused women, it attacks people trying to put their lives back together. It is a disgrace, and anyone who cares about housing in this country should oppose it. Mr. Chairman, I yield.